I'm Andrew McGuire, the Topa lawyer. I've recovered millions of dollars for tenants just like you in single-family homes and in multi-unit apartment buildings. Come on, Washington, let's talk Topa. Today on part 2 of the public health emergency and its effect on Topa deadlines, we're going to talk about when the deadline is and whether the deadlines have been extended or whether they've been told. But first, a quick update from our video on Thursday. 311 via Twitter has now corrected itself and said that the health emergency has in fact been extended to July 25th. So that's a good sign, I guess. Again, we still think there should be some clarity with regard to the mayoral orders. Argument could be made that the mayor intended to extend the health emergency to July 25th via the effective date of her May 17th order. We're going to, for sake of argument today, talk about July 25th being the end of the health emergency. We've looked at a calendar, and August 24th is 30 days following July 25th, 2021. So for sake of argument, we are going to assume that the Topa deadline is August 24th. A lot of people then ask, well, what exactly is supposed to happen on August 24th? That depends on whether the deadlines were extended or told. If we look at the exact language of the statute, they were clearly extended. The council may have intended to toll the rights, but with regards to Topa, the Court of Appeals reads the Topa statute literally and plainly. And the plain language of this particular emergency amendment makes it clear that the deadline has been extended, not tolled. We know from the Court of Appeals that deadline is a precise term, and it means the date by which something must happen. In Sharps versus United States, the Court of Appeals held that the 100-day statute for the preventive detention of certain criminal defendants was tolled and suspended during the public health emergency. That meant the two defendants had to remain in jail, and the 100 days of their preventive detention wouldn't start counting against them until the end of the public health emergency. That's an example of tolling. When a legislative body wants to toll a statute of limitations or some other deadline, they do so expressly. We can see that in the way the Superior Court tolled certain limits and deadlines as a result of the pandemic. As you can see, the Chief Judge's order uses the words toll, uses the words extends, uses the words suspend, and makes very clear that whatever time you had going in, you would have coming out. We don't have that with regards to Topa, so I urge you to, if you have Topa rights and you're coming out of this health emergency, to think about what stage of Topa are you in? Did you receive an offer of sale over the last 14 months? If so, and you haven't done anything else, you're going to have to do a letter of interest on or before August 24th, 2021. If you had already put in your letter of interest back before the pandemic started or in any time in the last 14 months and you've done nothing else, then you need to look and see what your next stage is. Are you waiting for the landlord to respond with the due diligence materials, the rent rolls, the utility expenses, the capital expenses? If they've done that, then the next stage is for you to get to a contract. And I suggest that you have your contract ready and to tender to the landlord as of August 24th, 2021. If you were under contract prior to the pandemic and were waiting to close, and you think that as of August 24th, 2021, you're going to have additional time to close, I would tell you, I don't think that's going to be right. I think that that is the deadline to close. If you need an extension, now's the time to go out and ask for it. This all may seem a bit confusing. However, the alternative, assuming that the rights were told, would create, in our view, a lot more confusion as everyone has to go back and look at their calendars and figure out how many days they had then and how many days they have now. The hard deadline is going to allow the process to begin again anew, while fairly taking care of, in my view, all of the cases that have arisen over the last 14 months.